Okay, let's unpack this. We've been gathering data, pulling articles, reviewing reports, and they all point to this seismic shift in the job market. It's not coming. It's happening right now. So our mission today in this deep dive is to map out the immediate casualties, the jobs actively disappearing between, say, 2025 and 2035. This isn't speculation, right? This is economic reality unfolding.
Exactly. And, you, the listener, really need the context for this reality. What's kind of fascinating here is how the actual cause gets obscured. We read headlines maybe about big companies announcing restructuring or efficiency improvements, especially this year, 2025. Often that's just corporate speak.
A euphemism.
Precisely. The real driver, the main reason for those job losses, it's the rollout and scaling of AI replacement.
And we're not talking small tweaks here. We should start this deep dive by looking right at the first line of fire, the sector that's already being, well, gutted. Customer service. If you know anyone working in like a call center, the sources we've seen confirm this is what they're facing right now, today.
Absolutely. The tech has matured incredibly quickly. Call centers are deploying these large language models, the tech behind things like ChatGPT, and they're really effective. They can handle maybe 70, even 80% of standard customer questions. They understand the intent, pull up info instantly, give a clear response.
Okay, let's talk scale, though.
Yeah.
Because 70 to 80%, that sounds huge, but what does it actually mean in terms of jobs?
Oh, the scale is immense. We're looking at roughly, 3 million customer service reps in the U.S. alone? Oh. Something like that. So if you automate 4 out of 5 of those interactions, well, you do the math. That's about 2.4 million jobs just evaporating very quickly over the next couple of years. It's not a small shift. It's like deleting millions of roles almost overnight.
But hang on, does the job just shift then? Does it really disappear? Or do those people maybe become, I don't know, AI trainers or reviewers or prompt engineers? Is it truly gone or just different?
That's a really critical question. And the data we're seeing suggests, well, for the vast majority, yeah, it's truly gone. Sure, there'll be a small need for humans to oversee things, train the AI initially, but you don't need millions of people to keep a model running once it's deployed. And here's the tough part, the human cost. The customer service jobs that do remain, they don't get easier. They become almost unbearable.
Unbearable. Unpack that. Why is the remaining human role so much harder?
Well, think about it. The AI handles all the straightforward stuff, the easy questions, so the humans who are left, they only deal with escalations.
Wow. Okay, so if that's customer service, what about that whole cluster of other jobs disappearing right now in 2025? The ones that are basically, screen-based and follow predictable rules?
Yeah, that pattern is key. Screen-based, rule-following, repeatable tasks, that's the vulnerability right now. Think data entry, bookkeeping, basic accounting. AI is just faster. It works 247, no breaks, makes zero errors in copying numbers or calculating things. Those roles where humans act like a database, they're immediately redundant when AI can just scan a receipt or spreadsheet instantly.
And we're seeing this bleed into content and communication roles too, right?
Absolutely. Big cuts in basic copywriting, churning out thousands of product descriptions for a website or drafting routine social media updates. AI does that instantly now. Translation, too. Used to be highly specialized. Now AI handles dozens, maybe 100 languages instantly, and for standard text, the accuracy is nearly perfect. Even content moderation. Thousands used to review flagged posts. Now it's mostly automated. Humans only step in for the really ambiguous, difficult, and frankly often psychologically damaging edge cases.
So the common thread here for this whole first wave is what you call the top 10% game. We need to really get what that means for anyone listening and planning their career.
Yeah, this is probably the single most important takeaway from the data we looked at. For many fields, the jobs don't vanish completely, but they become hyper-competitive. It's a game of excellence. An organization that used to need, say, 100 people for data analysis or drafting simple contracts, now they only need 10. And those 10, they have to be exceptional.
How did the sources define exceptional here? What does that actually mean?
It means bringing skills that augment the AI, not just doing what the AI does slower. It means complex critical thinking, high-level strategic problem-solving, managing the AI system itself. Think of it like Formula One racing. The car does 99% of the work, but that 1% the driver brings the split-second decisions, the intuition, performing under pressure, that's everything. If you're not in that top 10%, your job, unfortunately, gets absorbed by the machine.
That's a harsh filter. Okay, let's move on then. The next wave, maybe 2026 to 2030. This one feels, more uncomfortable. It hits roles that needed degrees, years of education, things we thought were solid career paths. the knowledge worker shock.
Right. And this is where you see the career pipeline start to break. It begins dramatically in, well, entry-level tech jobs. The
Yeah.
tech is already here for AI to write application code. And not just simple scripts. We're talking functional modules, whole applications sometimes.
So a junior developer, maybe just out of college with a computer science degree, they're now competing directly with a tool that codes faster, makes fewer mistakes, and doesn't need a salary or benefits.
Precisely. And that's the catastrophe for the whole knowledge economy pipeline. Companies might say, oh, we still need senior developers, architects, leaders. But if the entry-level jobs disappear, how do you get the 5 or 10 years of real-world experience you need to become a senior developer or an architect?
Yeah.
Where does that experience come from?
It's like taking out the first few rungs of the career ladder completely.
Exactly that. It's like saying, yeah, we still need experienced surgeons, but we don't need medical students or interns anymore. You can't sustain the top level if the entry point breaks. And think about the impact on the listener. Maybe that 22-year-old CS grad, they might have $50K, $60 in student debt. They were told tech was the safe, guaranteed path. Now those foundational jobs, they're just vanishing from the market.
And this pattern spreads, doesn't it, to other knowledge sectors like law and finance, the impact on paralegals, junior lawyers. It's immediate.
Yeah, the sources show AI can now do document review, something that used to take junior staff hundreds of hours in literally seconds. Finding precedents, drafting basic contracts, managing discovery, superhuman speed. That initial grind, the document-heavy, repetitive work of a junior associate, mostly automated now.
I remember seeing that specific anecdote in the sources. The personal story, it really hits home. This paralegal spent 3 years mastering legal research, right? Meticulous work. Her firm gets a new AI system last month, a task that usually took her 2 full days. The AI did it in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The firm kept only one person just to check the AI's work. It wiped out almost the entire entry-level team. That efficiency is just shattering.
And you see the exact same mechanism with junior financial analysts. Building models, compiling reports, crunching market data that used to be the proving ground. Now AI builds and stress tests the models, generates the reports, synthesizes the data instantly. If your main value is just processing information, it doesn't matter how much education you have, you're vulnerable.
And if that wasn't unsettling enough, we have to talk about the high-skill, really high-pay roles, things we thought were completely safe, like radiologists,
Yeah.
medical imaging specialists earning, what, $300K, $400K a year reading scans?
Right. The shock here isn't just that AI can do the job, it's that in some critical areas, it's actually achieving better results. The data shows AI is already outperforming human doctors in detecting certain cancers, tiny fractures, subtle anomalies on scans. Why? Well, the machine doesn't get tired. It doesn't miss something tiny after staring at screens for 10 hours straight. It's consistent, objective. It performs complex analysis without fatigue.
So the takeaway by 2030 seems clear. It's not just about low-skill jobs anymore. That old promise, get educated, work hard, get a good job, that starts to fail when AI can do the core educated task better than you for basically zero cost.
Which brings us to the next frontier in this first wave. The jobs people really thought were safe, the physical ones AI couldn't possibly touch. Let's shift focus now to the 2030-2035 timeframe. Physical world automation.
People always use truck drivers as the prime example, don't they? AI can't handle icy roads or unexpected city traffic. What do the sources say about that kind of safety net?
Well, that safety net is dissolving fast. Okay, fully autonomous driving in dense cities, all weather, that's still tricky. But the bulk of the job, long-haul trucking on predictable highways, that's already being tested extensively. Companies like Waymo, Tesla, Aurora, Too Simple, they're running pilots now. By 2030, maybe a bit later, these autonomous trucks will start taking over those long-haul routes.
And the job loss numbers are just huge.
Staggering. You're looking at 3.5 million professional truck drivers in the U.S. Add in over 1 million local delivery drivers likely replaced by drones and smaller automated vehicles. You're talking 4, maybe close to 5 million people. And for many of these workers, they're in their 40s, 50s, decades of driving expertise just telling them to learn to code. It's completely unrealistic for that group. This creates a massive retraining challenge.
We see similar things in big physical workplaces too, like
Right.
warehouses.
Yeah, the Amazon example is probably the clearest globally. Their new automated facilities, they've gone from needing maybe 100 human workers down to just 15. Robots handle moving things, stacking, retrieving, even loading. Much faster, more precise than people. By 2035, human workers in logistics, they'll mostly just handle the exceptions. The weirdly shaped package, the broken machine, that difficult 10% again.
And this final part of the wave hits the service industry too, where it involves simple, repetitive physical tasks.
Exactly. Retail and fast food. Self-checkout was just the beginning. We're seeing automated kitchens being deployed rapidly. McDonald's, Wendy's are testing robot arms for flipping burgers, working the fryers, and the push towards employee-less stores like Amazon Go technology. It's driven by simple economics. Labor costs keep rising while automation costs keep falling and capabilities keep improving.
Okay, so let's zoom out. If we summarize the full impact of this first wave by 2035, we're seeing massive reduction or transformation in most customer service, data entry, basic writing translation, almost all junior roles in law, finance, tech, significant parts of medical imaging, trucking, warehouse work, retail, fast food, all these sectors basically shrinking down to that elite AI-augmented top 10%.
And the engine driving all this, the core reason it's happening so fast, it's pure economic reality. It's not just about saving a bit of money, it's a competitive imperative companies can't ignore. The AI exists today. Scaling it lets a business/labor cost by 70–80% almost instantly.
And Wall Street, the financial markets, they don't exactly wait around for ethical debates, do they?
Not at all. If company A automates and cuts its costs in half, it can immediately undercut company B on price, or reinvest those savings into growing faster, maybe driving B out of business entirely. Wall Street rewards the companies that move fast on this. It punishes the ones who hesitate. That economic pressure is like a sledgehammer, forcing adoption regardless of the social consequences.
Which leads us to the single biggest question for anyone listening right now. If all those jobs are vanishing or shrinking to just the top 10%, what jobs do survive this next decade? What's left?
The sources are actually pretty clear on this. Survival, or maybe thriving, belongs to those top performers who bring distinctly human skills. Things that are really hard for current AI to replicate. That means high-level creativity, generating truly novel ideas, not just remixing existing ones. It means deep emotional intelligence, building high-trust relationships, negotiating complex situations, motivating teams, mentoring people. And it means complex, ambiguous problem-solving, the kind that requires connecting dots across different fields, dealing with incomplete information.
But we have to face the scary math here, don't we? If 90 out of every 100 people in a role are displaced, and you multiply that across all these huge industries we just listed, that's tens of millions of people who had stable jobs in 2025 who just won't have them in 2035. By definition, most people aren't in the top 10%.
That is the absolute central challenge of this decade. And here's the really sobering part. This entire discussion, everything we've mapped out from 2025 to 2035, this is just the first wave. These were the low-hanging fruit, really. The jobs focus mainly on information processing or relatively simple logistics, the obvious targets.
Right. So here's the uncomfortable thought we want to leave you, the listener, with. Building on all this data we've gone through, a lot of people seeing this knowledge work disruption, they're pivoting right now. They're following the current safe advice. Get a trade. Become an electrician, a plumber, and HVAC tech. They see the physical trades as the lifeboat, safe from AI.
Yeah, they're running away from the information cliff trying to get to what looks like solid ground.
But what if? What if following that advice is just running directly toward the next cliff? The sources strongly suggest a second wave is coming, maybe hit between 2035 and 2045. That's when advanced AI gets combined with truly capable, dexterous humanoid robots. Robots that can work in the physical world alongside us. And that wave will challenge the trades, the very physical jobs people are running towards today for safety. Is the current safe advice just leading people into a sanctuary that might only last another 10 years? That's the question to really think about as you plan for the future in this new reality.